Hi guys, Mrs. Karaz here, and today we're picking up with Chapter 3, Section 1, Part 2. Remember, we cut the last section in half, so we're just continuing it today. And the last section looked at the colonists in the southern United States, or what would become the southern United States, and now we're looking to the New England region. So we're starting with the Pilgrims. If you remember from last chapter, back in the 1530s, King Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church because he wanted a divorce, basically, and the Catholic Church didn't allow it. The Protestant Church did. So King Henry decided he would be a Protestant, and Protestantism became a big religion in England. So now we have a group of people in England who want to practice Christianity, but not like the Catholics or the Protestants. They're called separatists because they want to separate entirely from these religions and their practices. So a group of separatists decided to come to North America to find religious freedom, and they were now called pilgrims. Pilgrim is not a term that's affiliated with any particular religion. Any person who goes on a religious journey is considered a pilgrim. So, in 1620, 100 pilgrims headed to North America on a ship called the Mayflower. And their original intention was to land in Virginia, but they were blown off course by storms. So they landed in what is now Massachusetts, and they named their settlement Plymouth, right? If we think about why they may have wanted to land in Virginia, well, it makes sense. The Jamestown colony is already there. It's already established. Why not join up with people who already know the land and this territory, people from England? But unfortunately, that is not what the fates had in store. So because the colonists landed outside of Virginia, the Pilgrims decided that they had to make their own laws separate from those of the Virginia Company, right? Originally, they were just going to do what the Virginia Company had in place already, but they're so far, at such a far distance from each other, it made sense for the Pilgrims to do their own thing. So the Pilgrims established the Mayflower Compact, which is an agreement that stated that just and equal laws would be enforced, representatives would be elected by voters, and adult males were allowed to vote. And remember, the House of Burgesses in Jamestown was really the first legislature in the colonies, but this, the Mayflower Compact, was the first time people in America declared that they could govern themselves, right? They're putting in writing a plan to take control of part of their own political destiny, to use a term that is not real. When you think Pilgrims, you probably think Thanksgiving. So the Pilgrims arrived in Plymouth too late in the season to plant crops, and because of this, many colonists died of either disease or starvation. But Native Americans in the area felt bad for the colonists, and they began to bring them food and taught them how to farm in the particular soil that exists in New England. And the Pilgrims decided to set aside a day to give thanks to the Native Americans for their help. This day evolved into Thanksgiving, but actually Thanksgiving wasn't a holiday until the Civil War, and we'll talk about that more when we get to Civil War times. That's actually it. So we are a wrap with Chapter 3, Section 1, Part 2. Have a great afternoon, guys.